Facebook Live earlier because my friend had done this fundraiser. I need to put this on something stable, huh? Anyway, I wanted to share some things that have been helping me over the last 2 months since Maisie passed away. And for some of you it might help, and for some of you it might not. But my prayer is that it will help those of you who have been also seeking some peace and some understanding about this situation, because this is a really hard one. This is one that is very tender, and it's difficult for people, especially me, to understand why and what's going on. So I'm hoping that I can say everything. So I was over at Tay's house, and I was sitting there talking to her, and all of a sudden we started talking obviously about Maisie. I showed her the video, and I don't know if I told you guys this, but in that video, that last one I showed her, in that bumbo, in the blue bumbo, and how she was just looking at me. And I remember this was the day before, it was Monday, and she passed on a Tuesday. I remember looking at her, and she was looking in my eyes, and she was literally giving me a message of goodbye. I didn't feel it was goodbye. I just felt she was just pouring this love into me. And I literally had the thought, I want to remember this moment forever. And I grabbed my camera, and that's when I took that video and that picture. I have had so many videos of her and so many pictures. And, that day, she was just the kind of being, the kind of spirit, the kind of person who just poured that love into you, and you felt like you were being filled. And I remember, as I was watching that video and thinking of what a special, special baby she is and person. And anyways, one of the things that I was talking to one of my friends about was the shoulds. I should have done this. I should have done that. And that will wreck you. And it wrecked me for weeks. And I remember I shared a little bit about this, but the reason why those wreck you is because you're literally saying that, I can't see that if I should have done something different, what would I have done differently? Nothing. I would have put her to bed the same way. I would have done it all. Now, had I known, I would have just kept her with me and been a helicopter mom her entire life. But she literally came to me in all those dreams and said, Mom, I would have gone no matter how you did this. No matter what you did, it was my time to go. And I've felt that over and over as we've had different experiences, even over the last 2 months, where our family has been in danger and nothing has happened. But then also talking about safety, right? My version of safety is not God's version of safety. It literally is not mean that if something bad happens to you or bad happens to you, it's not it's because you're, gosh, what am I trying to say? That everything is so that we can put our trust and our safety in God. Nothing else in this life gives you a guarantee. Nothing. You can pray. I pray over my kids incessantly. I'm constantly praying over my kids. I'm constantly asking Heavenly Father to surround them with angels and light, and He did. It just didn't look how I wanted it to. And one of the things that something that I'm really working with saying is I trust God. I trust God, which is a really awful thing. When I was going through the first week, right? Because no, I don't. I'm no, you should have woken me up. You should have told me this was going on. You should have prepared me. And then I thought, oh, He did prepare me. And even though it didn't look how I wanted it to look. And you hear this stuff all the time, and it seems so petty, doesn't it? Oh, we didn't get what we wanted. We prayed for it and it didn't turn out. Until something like this happens where you're no, really, that's wrong. That's not how it's supposed to be. And not trusting God and trusting this process of life that she left, she moved on, she passed on to her next stage of life in her perfect way. And I'm only sharing this with you because I'm in a place in this moment where I can say it without bawling my guts out. Because in 5 minutes, I could be on the floor screaming into the carpet and hating it. Because I'm telling you, that happens a lot, where I just say, I hate this. And I just tell God, I hate this. I don't want this. And just telling Him no. no, this doesn't get to happen, and that's where the extra pain comes in, is me fighting against what is, fighting against how it could be different. But what I wanted to share with you was that hope in Christ, that hope that there is perfect timing, and that there is, we live in this fallen world. We live in this place where, things are not, where they're physical, and where we have such this veil of forgetfulness placed over us, where we can't remember everything. If we could remember everything, we'd be like, oh, that happened? Okay, well, we know that we see the whole plan. There's no reason to be upset about it. But because we don't see the whole plan, we don't see it, we have to train ourselves to move the veil. And what do I mean by that? Like, that's been my prayer, is that I want to move the veil so I can see her, because I've been told so many times in these dreams that she's right here. Like, where? And I feel her, but I want to see her. And maybe I can't see her like this, but I can see her in my mind, in my spirit, that my spirit gets to see her and communicate with her. And so one thing that I've been doing that's really helpful, maybe for those of you who've lost somebody, is I'm writing letters. I have a journal that I keep letters to her, that I will write that communication, because that's one of the hardest things, is feeling like she can't feel my love anymore, and that I can't feel her love. And that's just not true. She feels my love. I feel her love. The thing that hurts is because I don't get to interact, that I don't get to touch her squishy arms, and I don't get to massage her and nurse her and all that. Like, that's the stuff that hurts, the physical. And like I said, I was crying this morning, and I was like, I gotta stop crying because I have to put on makeup because I'm going to someone's house, and that's okay. I'm okay with crying, and you can be okay with crying too. So here's what I'm getting at. That what's the opposite of feeling like there's loss is that I can't lose her. She is mine forever, and that I will raise her at a different point in time. And it's just on pause right now as far as me raising her. And that I will have that connection. I will have that experience and opportunity. And that we do see our loved ones again. That eternity is what she brought into my life. I thought I knew about that before. I thought, oh yeah, I believe families are forever. And then she died, and I thought, do I believe that? And I just got real with God. I was like, look, you need to be straight with me. You need to tell me right now, will I see her again? Only it wasn't that nice. I kind of demanded of it. And I've never prayed like that. And I've just spent many, many nights and days just pleading with the Lord and asking him to show me her. And sometimes I do, and sometimes my grief is too much where I can't feel anything but the pain and the sorrow. So another thing that I've done is getting rid of the shoulds, because that is me playing God. That's me saying that plan sucked, which I said for a long time. And when I say long time, I mean weeks, right? But all this work that I've been doing, all these things I've been learning have helped me to be able to process this. So I don't know if I could walk anyone through the grieving process, but I can walk somebody through how to prepare themselves for the things that happen in life. Because there's nothing worse than this. And I was telling a friend about this. I was talking to my friend, and she has also lost her baby. And I said, it's funny because like people want to connect and they want to say, oh, I know how you feel. And I remember like having friends who've lost babies and feeling so much sorrow for them and feeling so sad for them, but not knowing how to connect. And there's really not a way, but you can say, I'm sorry for your loss. I'm sorry for your pain. I'm sorry for your pain. Really. Like that's really the thing. But it was like, you're standing butt naked in the Alps in the snow, and your toes and fingers are black and falling off. And you're trying to explain to somebody how freaking cold you are, or how cold you've been, and what it's like to go through that kind of a cold. And they're like, oh yeah, I was cold once too. Like I opened up the refrigerator door once and I was super cold. And I don't mean that to sound, because everyone has their own version of pain that I don't understand either. There's things that, you know, you guys go through that I don't know what that's like. You know, there's things that, and then I think about the last few years, like being married with my husband, like we've been through some really hard things, but we've also always, you know, clung to this idea of, not this idea, of this truth that all things can be made right through Christ, that the atonement of Jesus Christ is real, and that it is what makes things whole. That is it. And that when we have that sense of being broken and just destroyed. I was just on the phone with my sweet husband, who's like crying his eyes out right now because he's at work and he's trying to compose himself so he can go in and work right now. And it feels so lame to do normal things. It feels so lame to feel like I have to go to the store. I have to go to Costco and look at everyone and I just want to scream, don't you know my baby died? Like, don't you know this? Like, how are you being normal? How are you normal when this horrible, tragic thing happened? And yet at the same time, knowing that I don't know what's going on in their life. I don't know what tragic thing is going on with them. And so just be super kind to each other. Like, we just need to be super kind because we don't know. But I haven't talked on here in a while. And I got to say thank you to those of you whose babies I have held. Because as hard and like physically hard that is to do, it's also so healing. Like, it's so healing to hold other people's babies and just love on them. And then, you know, when I give them back, it's that same feeling, but it's like we're here in this human experience to feel that pain and to also have God go through it with us, because it's a lot harder when we don't have that, you know? And so anyways, I have this huge testimony of God sending angels to us, that they will comfort us and that they'll comfort you. So whatever you're going through, just know, like, as hard as it is, you literally will have access to heaven. And I've always said that, but like, I know that, you know, that we have this access and that I have been poured love onto. I have been gushed over with love. And even in that, it's almost like at some points the pain is so hard that I can't even feel any of that love until I allow myself to, you know, and that's searching for truth and searching for those hard answers. You know, some of my kids are really struggling right now with what do they believe? Because, you know, you hear in Sunday school all this stuff, but what do you know? What do you really know? And to search those questions out. So like I said, I don't really know why I'm sharing this. I'm just sharing it because it helps. When I testify of what's true, when I say out loud that I will see her again and I will raise my baby, that's true. When I say that she is not gone and that she is here and her spirit is alive, that's true. When I say I know that God loves me and that I trust God, that's true. When to be reminded that in the midst of this sorrow, there is hope and there is beauty and there is no end. There's someone walking behind me. There's no end to this life. There's an end to this piece of life, but it is not over when our spirits leave this body. And it is such a fragile thing that we can't rely on being safe. We can't rely on... Oh, I'm back. Hey, thanks for waiting. The signal got lost. Anyways, I'm going to go in my house now. Interesting that like faded. So anyways, just know that when you learn things that are true, they will be there to help support you through this. Are you in my office getting into my stuff? Yes, you are. What else did I want to share with you? Hi, love. Oh, I want to share with you some of the new beliefs that I've come to through this. I want to. Oh, someone got me this beautiful picture too. Okay, so here's some things. I do my best, and my best is always enough. Because that's one thing that I struggle with is like, you know, and I am my best. I get to raise my Maisie. I trust God's plan. I have it all. I get it all. I have my family. I am complete. It is a privilege to win. It is a privilege to lose. It is a privilege to experience pain. And because we're here, that means we're here, okay? So I want to show you this real quick. This is one of the pictures that my sweet friend got me. I've had 2 friends who've got me this, but do you see that? This right here is an anchor for my soul because this is her picture and this is a painting. They are so similar. Like, all I have to do is put some wispy hair on her, and that is my Maisie. And this is me handing her back to our Heavenly Mother and to that place. And, you know, I feel like in this moment, my spirit has gotten that. So anyways, you guys are awesome. I love you. And I hope that this helps you, because I know that I am not the only person who's experiencing this. I know that I'm not the only person experiencing pain, that you guys all have it. We all have it. And if one person has it, we all have it. And so just when you pray, you know, use that love that you have for other people. So I love you guys. And that's it. Have a great day.